All right, let's move on to the Wizards, guys. And they're back to 500. Can they get over 500 on Wednesday against the Celtics? I think it's when they're going to break through finally. But the question here I'm going to focus on is Otto Porter Jr. And Matt, I want to start with you on this one. The question is simple. Would he be better served playing the D-League? He's averaging less than 5 minutes in his last 6 games. Not much of a stat line, not contributing much. Would he be better served in the D-League?
I mean, you always have to figure that somebody is better off playing than not playing. In terms of learning to play basketball, it's easier to learn that by playing basketball. So in that sense, I would think, especially because it's not like Porter was somebody whose your concern was, well, he needs the maturity to learn what it is to be a pro, to deal with a long season, to conduct himself on the road, and that was never a concern with this guy, the way it might have been if you were drafting a, I don't know, 19-year-old that, maybe hadn't had a whole lot of maturity. So yeah, I guess in that sense, we never always know health status, whether we're getting the full story on everything and how much of a toll the injury took and whether he's completely back in that regard. So it's almost like next year is going to be his rookie year in a lot of ways. I feel like this was a lost year, but to your point, could it be less of a lost year if he was playing in the D-League? I don't see how it could have been really any worse or more that could have been lost.
Rick, what are your thoughts? Isn't this what the D-League is for?
Well, I mean, I think more and more teams are starting to talk about utilizing it this way. I mean, what are you missing by not putting him down there? Maybe hurting his confidence? Well, you're not gaining confidence sitting on the bench anyway. And I think we're finding more examples of guys that go down, have a few good games. Minnesota's Shabazz Muhammad went down earlier this year. Also to Iowa, I think they share a team with the Wizards. And he went 25 points, 10 rebounds for a few games and gets called back up. So, I mean, there's just so much more reason to send him down than leave him here and have him watch John Wall play.
I mean, is there an argument to be made, though, for the practices? Because that's what he was missing out on during training camp with the injury, to just be practicing with the team?
I mean, he has been practicing with the team. Has that been helping him much? I don't know. I hate to have, unanimity on the panel, but to me, it's more that we've seen what Otto Porter does. When we saw him last year, he was a really complete player in a lot of ways and really impressive. And I think that's why a lot of people, including me, thought that he would be able to step in and contribute as a role guy right away. And he looks so out of sorts. He just looks like he's never played basketball before at times. It's really bizarre. And he's not taking shots. He's not looking for his shot at all. A lot of times he'll be on there and just be kind of invisible for the few minutes that he does play. So just because I don't think that this is who he is as a basketball player, I'd like to see him get some major minutes and then come back and be that guy that we all thought he was going to be, where he can go on the court and contribute right away. I think the argument for keeping him is that you're going to need to win basketball games by playing more than 8 guys at some point, and he could actually help you. But I think that maybe he can help you more if he gets some more minutes down there.
He is buried on the bench right now, and I mean, it does seem like Whitman's gone to a smaller rotation. Yeah. And I mean, but the question, we've talked about Nene's health and that being an issue through the long haul of the season. They're going to have to get deeper at some point. Season high of 21 minutes and 7 points so far for Otto Porter, and that was a game against Detroit in December. So certainly, for a number 3 pick in the draft, you expect more. But again, the injuries were part of it.
People started debating: is it possible? Is it possible that Otto Porter could wind up a bigger bust than Jan Vesely? Obviously, it's pretty early.
Oh my goodness!
Well, I mean, I think that it's at least in the.
We're still way too early for that.
Well, I think the health takes that a little bit out of the equation. I think if you're at the same point a year from now,
which I guess is conceivable, is to your point,
right? Then I think you would have that discussion. But I mean, you have to at least acknowledge the fact that he lost the summer. He wasn't, we don't know for sure, but I mean that he did not have the normal progression from draft to camp to his rookie season the way Vesely.
It's just been really surprising. I think Michael Carter-Williams, he's a rookie, and to see what he did yesterday against the Wizards, he was a dominant NBA player, and it's like you almost feel like
there weren't a lot of them in this draft class.
He's a rarity out of that rookie draft class. There's a lot of guys that aren't performing right now.
I think it's fair, but you watch Otto Porter, and you're kind of secretly crossing your fingers, come on, man, you can do it. And number 3 overall pick, I don't think you should be feeling that way.
That's good. It's definitely something to watch for the rest of the season. Once again, look at that. We nailed the segment right on the time.